Hello and welcome along to the first SSN Social. We're live on Sky Sports News and on the Sky Sports Football YouTube channel. And we know this game between Manchester United and Arsenal has been the talk of offices, shops, playgrounds, cafes all over the country today. We're here to get you ready for what promises to be an absolutely cracking Monday night football. All day we've been asking you to tweet your questions to @Sky Sports News, so keep an eye out for them a little bit later on. This fixture is all about rivalry, the passion and the fans. We've got both sides covered. Here we've got Joe Tomlinson, our Manchester United.
Come on.
We've got Dave Jackson as well, who's here to fight Arsenal's squad. And Clinton Morrison is in the studio too. We'll hear from all of those guys on the big battles in the game and the big issues at two of the giants of the Premier League. Well, Manchester United could go into this game relying on 17-year-old Mason Greenwood to lead the charge for goals. We'll look at whether he can handle it and ask how it's got to this. The striking position, well, it's a huge issue for this man, but Ollie remains at the wheel. What sort of ride is he in for this season, and what needs to happen if United become contenders again? Now, Granit Xhaka is Arsenal's first choice captain from a list of 5 skippers. Is that the right way to do things, or is it a sign of a dressing room that lacks a true leader? It's one of many questions facing this man as he tries to get Arsenal back into that title conversation. How will he do it? How far away are Arsenal from those glory years? Right, we're going to get things started then. We're going to start with tonight's home team, which is Manchester United. Joe, welcome along. I know you're looking forward to this game. Tricky times, though, for your club. How welcome a fixture is this when things haven't been perfect to play an old rival?
Semi-welcome. Doesn't come at a great time in terms of our form, but might be the thing that kick-starts our season to a certain extent. I think we've been struggling in pretty much all facets of the game, so hopefully somebody like Mason Greenwood can put on a bit of a show tonight and break onto the scene, and that will start a wave of positivity for us.
So it sounds like you are confident. I mean, you are the home side, I guess.
I mean, we've got a pretty good record at Old Trafford against Arsenal, in the Premier League anyway, so I'm semi-confident. I'm worried about a few areas, particularly our midfield, and obviously we've got some injuries that could be happening, might not be happening. Not sure about how the team's going to line up, but yeah, I'm semi-confident. It's Arsenal. They always choke at some stage.
OK, well, we'll get to that midfield a little bit in a moment, actually. But if you are going to win tonight, how do you go about it?
It's going to be a difficult one. Number 1, stop Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Number 2, try and contain Matteo Guendouzi, I think. And then you've just got to hope for another howler from one of that Arsenal backline passing it out, because it's probably going to happen at some stage. But yeah, stop Aubameyang is imperative, and it's going to come down to the likes of Harry Maguire to try and pocket him. And without Aaron Wan-Bissaka, that's a problem, massive problem, not having Wan-Bissaka fit. Yeah,
well, we'll have team news at 7 o'clock, won't we? I mean, it looks like you're not going to be title challengers this year. I think that's fair to say.
Definitely.
How far away are you from going back to those days of challenging for the title?
Long way. Many transfer windows away. I think we've only just started to see some sort of plan. I feel like for the last 4 or 5 years we've been planless, just kind of guessing and getting big names in to fill holes. I think we've started to see a plan developing, going out and signing very young players, quite a British demographic to our transfers. But equally, are they the right names? I think that whether or not the plan is working remains to be seen, given that it's Ed Woodward who's executing it.
Right, more questions for Joe in a moment. We're going to be bringing Clinton Morrison as well. But speaking of questions, we've got one for you. We want you to vote in our online poll. We're asking who will finish higher in the Premier League this season, Manchester United or Arsenal? So it's a simple question, not necessarily a simple answer. Get involved. We will bring you the result just before 7 p.m. when Monday Night Football goes on air. But at the moment, you can see that 63% of you think that Arsenal will finish higher than Manchester United, which Joe is shaking his head at. Right, Clinton's coming and join us now. Clinton, you've seen a lot of Manchester United teams over the years, well, since retiring, but also you've played against a lot. How's this current team shaping up?
It's not as good as the ones I've played before, but most Man United fans know that nowadays. When I was playing, they had the players like Roy Keane, Scholes, Beckham, Giggs. The list can go on and on and on. They were winning trophies. When we used to go and play against those teams, we knew we weren't getting anything. So it's basically go and have a day out and enjoy yourself and try and swap some shirts and just go and take pictures and stuff like that. And see if you can score at Old Trafford and get that goal that you can go and tell the grandchildren. But the team now is totally different. But it's going to take time. It's a slow burner with Man United at the moment. They're still one of the best teams in world football for me. Not on what they're doing on the pitch, but financially, as a club, still one of the biggest teams in football, in world football. So they still can attract good players and top players. But I think the way Ollie's building the team now, we're signing a lot of youngsters in the future, but it's going to take a lot of time.
Is it a shame to see them not challenging for the title?
Of course it's a shame. It's Man United Football Club. They're always challenging for titles, but it's going to take time. What I don't like is when I hear Man United fans saying, oh, it'll be good to just finish in the top 6. No, that's not Man United Football Club. Man United are a football club who want to win trophies. I know the circumstances and the surroundings at the club now, fans do think that like that, but Man United are a club that should be challenging for the top title.
Well, this fixture's had plenty of history, as we know. United faced Arsenal more than any other opponents. No fewer than 230 matches. In that long rivalry, United edged it with 97 wins to Arsenal's 82. There have been 51 draws in that time as well. Arsenal may fancy their chances tonight, given United's injuries. And if they do win it, it'll be their first victory in the Premier League at Old Trafford since September 2006, believe it or not. It's always been a Premier League classic, got plenty of edge in 54 Premier League games between them. There have been 9 red cards. But Monday Night Football seems to suit the home side. Manchester United have only lost 6 of the 64 games they've played on a Monday evening. So we've had a look at the Manchester United side of things with Joe. Sizable task facing Arsenal this evening. This is Dave Jackson, our Arsenal man. Good to see you, Dave. Arsenal, at the moment, they are away from home against Manchester United. How do they get the win?
I think Guendouzi's key. I think it's he's only 20 years old, and I think other than Aubameyang and probably Leno, he's the number 3 player that's always going to be on that team sheet, which is fantastic. So if he can get on the ball, because the thing I really admire about him as well is in difficult games, he always wants the football, right? Particularly when you're going to go away to Old Trafford, he's always shown for the football, which is kind of what you want from one of your kind of like. That's the kind of thing you want from like your midfielders. So yeah, I think us getting Guendouzi on the game and him having a good game, and obviously once we do have chances for us to actually take them, then that's what's going to be key. Is
a question I've been asking a lot of Arsenal fans lately. Why have they got 5 captains?
It's a bit of a straight. So for me, I think it doesn't reflect particularly well on Unai, to be honest. Because if you think back of like the great Arsenal teams, it's almost like every manager. It doesn't even just Arsenal. Like you kind of have your captain. He's the guy that's going to go and win me trophies this season. And the fact it was a bit indecisive. There was this. It was like a ballot, wherever it was. But then again, it's kind of worked quite well on the continent in like the past. And again, if Arsenal start the season a bit better, would anyone have said anything? No. But it's only because we've had a bit of a shaky start, then there's obviously going to be a few questions. But personally, I'm not really a fan of this 5 captain.
Well, what do you think, Clinton? When you were playing, did you ever have a manager who said giving so many people that responsibility, or do you always just have one?
You know what my answer is going to be, Tom. It's only going to be one. The manager makes the decision. There's only ever one captain. You have 11 captains when you go on the pitch, but you have that one captain that everyone looks up to, and if it's not going right, gears the boys up. But when you're on that pitch, 11 captains, this 5 captains and stuff in the leadership group doesn't sit well with me. It's like when you have 2 penalty takers. No, I'm the only penalty taker, and I'm taking it. If I miss one, I'm going to take it again. If I miss 2 or 3, then I'm off them, and the next one takes them. So I don't buy into all of this having 5 captains in this leadership group. You have 1 captain, and then when you go on that pitch, there's 11 captains.
Dave, what does Emery have to do to have this to make this a successful season?
I think if we can get back into Champions League via our league position, then he's done a very, very good job. If we can have a little run in some of the cups, we got absolutely smashed in like the Europa League final last season. However, it was actually very good. It was almost like the last last 6 games, if we'd have just won 2 of them 6 games, then we would have got into Champions League anyway. So it was a mixed season last season. This season we need to go one better and reclaim that Champions League spot. And I think if he can do that, then he's done very well.
Do you agree with that, Clinton? You're nodding along. Just top 4 would be
top
enough.
4 would be brilliant for Arsenal. I think they spent well. You got to say their window they've done ever so well. It's going to be difficult because there's a lot of top teams challenging. You throw Leicester into that mix now. Before the season, I would have said into the top 6. Now the way they're playing, I do think they've got a great chance getting into the top 4. But yeah, Arsenal are the best equipped to finish in that 4th spot at the moment.
There's much more to come from Joe, Dave and Clinton in a few minutes, including something a bit special from Clinton on his own teammate, Roy Keane, who's part of the Sky Sports coverage this evening. Don't miss it when SSN Social returns.
Own your moment. Sky Sports News sponsored by Giacomo.
Welcome back. This is the SSN Social. We've been asking you who you think will finish higher this season of tonight's Monday Night Football teams, Manchester United or Arsenal. Over 7,000 of you have got in touch, and we've only been on for 15 minutes. 64% of you, though, do think that Arsenal will finish ahead of Manchester United. We've got more now with the fans here. We've been asking you to get in touch at Sky Sports News and saying that we'll read out some of the questions to our guests and to Clinton as well. So we've got some here. This one's from Chappers, who's very thorough with this question, actually. Both clubs have been through a period of rebuild and have exciting young cores, largely cultivated through each club's respective youth setups. But the question is, which club has developed the most exciting youth?
Ooh, tough one. I think Manchester United at the moment, because you've got Rashford in there, you've got Greenwood coming through at the moment as well.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a notable name to come out of Arsenal's academy in ages.
Joe Willock is going to be a baller. All right, he's not quite there yet. He's not quite at the level to probably be demanding a starting 11 spot, but I would potentially even play him today, depending on who's fit or not. I think he's got an exceptional future.
Reece Nelson, Emil Smith Rowe.
Nelson, yeah,
I know Nketiah's out on loan.
Yeah,
that just looked quite bright for Arsenal.
I think what's good about that core player is, whenever they've had the chance in like the Europa League, they've definitely taken it and they've scored goals. So yeah, I think for Arsenal it's extremely exciting.
All right, there's one from Connor Lynn here who says, picking a team for Manchester United tonight, so this one's for you, Joe, what's the best possible 11 of players available? We know that we're not exactly certain on some of them. There's some doubts. We'll find out the team at 7 o'clock, but of those that we think are available, who would you go for?
So available to us, I would probably go with De Gea, obviously, in goal. And then Maguire and Lindelof, the centre-back pairing, as they have been throughout the season. If Wan-Bissaka's fit, has to start. Unfortunately, we're going to have to play Ashley Young at left-back because we've got no other options, really.
You're not keen on him?
Not keen on him, that's an understatement.
Just in that position?
At all.
Okay.
Just don't really think he's quite at that level anymore. I think I would go quite attacking against Arsenal tonight. I think I'd probably go Pogba and McTominay at the base of midfield, and then I'd go Jesse Lingard in front of him because he always turns up against Arsenal. Not having a great season, hasn't had a great 2019, but against Arsenal, don't know what happens, just suddenly turns it on. And then I would go Rashford, Greenwood through the middle, and Daniel James on the right.
Okay. So that team you've just named there is definitely there for the taking. I think if that, but then again, in post-Fergie era, there's been numerous times when United have been there for the taking and Arsenal just failed to do it.
Yeah, a couple of question marks on those players' fitness. But Clinton, I'm going to bring you in now actually because Paul Pogba, we think he might be involved tonight. How important is he in a game like this, a big game? Has he got to step up?
Yeah, he's so important. He's a terrific player, Paul Pogba. He hasn't delivered yet at Man United, but these are the games where you pay all of that money, you want your star players to produce. So if he's fit and healthy, he definitely has to play. And this is a game where he should be turning up. Everyone's got question marks and doubts over Paul Pogba's ability. He's got second to none ability. You see what he does for France. Now he has to start producing this for Man United on a regular basis.
Yeah, OK, I tell you what, we're going to go on to your key players now then, in that case. Got a couple of questions out the way there, but we've asked Dave and Joe to pick a key man for this evening's game. We will start again with the home side, and you've gone for Harry Maguire, partly because there's been talk that Aaron Wan-Bissaka might not be available. I know that you hope he is. But what makes Maguire so important to Manchester United so early?
Well, I think he is going to be the only man that contains Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang tonight. And that is the key to stopping Arsenal. I think the only way you beat Arsenal is to somehow stop Aubameyang scoring goals. And I think the way Ollie will look to do that is to put Harry Maguire shirt tight, go up against him, physically manhandle him out of the way. A little bit like we saw him do with Tammy Abraham at the start of the season. Obviously, he wasn't in the firing form then that he is now, like Aubameyang is, but we saw him go up against him, physically batter him throughout the game, and then that allowed Manchester United a platform to progress going forward. So I think Harry Maguire is the only real way we can stop him, because Ashley Young, not sure on. Wan-Bissaka might not be fit, and then our defensive midfielders haven't been good enough this year, haven't given us a shield and a place to start attacks. So I think Harry Maguire's got a massive, massive game tonight.
Clinton, was Harry Maguire the perfect centre-back that Manchester United needed in the summer? Yeah,
most definitely. You can see all the big clubs wanting it. Man City were interested in him, and he's been brilliant since he's gone there. He's demanding, he's physical, he's got a presence, and that's what Man United need. And I think the partnership with him and Lindelof is only going to get better and better. But yeah, he'll have to be good today, though, because Aubameyang is one hell of a striker.
Yeah, you mentioned Aubameyang a lot, haven't we, Dave? But you want to talk about key player tonight is Guendouzi.
Yeah, so I think he's the guy that, well, if I think back to the games in particular this season, against Spurs, he was the one who picked the game up by the scruff of its neck and actually took it to Tottenham, particularly when we were 2 goals down. Last week against Aston Villa, he was the one that drove Aston Villa and won the penalty and then got the assist for the second goal. So he's an extremely key man for us now. And it's, as I said previously, you know, the fact that he's only 20 is absolutely fantastic. And then I'm very confident if he has a good game, Arsenal will win, because I'm very confident that Aubameyang will score down at the other end.
Are you worried that if he keeps this progression going, you might not hold on to him, especially if you don't finish in the top 4?
So I've got a bit of a spicy hot take. Right? Well, I believe in 3 years he'll be playing for Real Madrid in the centre of their kind of like midfield, which would be which would be a big shame for Arsenal. But hopefully, if with like Edu there now, hopefully we can get really good money for him, and then we just kind of reinvest in that. Just reinvest in that team.
That really is a spicy hot
take. Guendouzi will be at Real Madrid in 3 years.
Right, well, there's more to come from our guest in just a moment, but the Sky Sports live coverage gets underway at 7 o'clock, all right, and it features a man who embodies everything about this fixture, makes it a must-watch. Never any love lost between Roy Keane and his old sparring partner, Patrick Vieira. Who can forget this exchange at Highbury before a ball had even been kicked in 2005?
See up there. Come on, every weekend. Come on, you're a nice guy. Nothing more in here. Thank you.
Well, it sounds, doesn't it? And it looks like it's already kicked off before they've got on the pitch.
Let's go. Leave it in here.
It'll never be forgotten, that, will it? And Clinton Morrison knows Roy Keane very well. I saw the two of you chatting earlier on and you were making him laugh, which was good to see.
That's what I do. I make Roy Keane laugh. And listen, everyone thinks when he gets on that football pitch, Roy Keane is a winner. He's a natural winner. He's won so much things at Man United. He's a legend of a footballer. So he's a brilliant person to be around. He sets so much high standards. Even now, when he's doing the media stuff, he sets high standards and he's brilliant at what he does.
What made him such a big presence when you were a teammate of his at Ireland?
He's just a winner. Even when we used to play 11v11s against the under-21s, he wouldn't hold back. He'd be kicking them, and he'd train how he plays. And he always trained how he plays. I just remember him once coming on the training pitch, and he had his high shorts, his socks were pulled up, he had his Diodora, and I looked and said, I'm not sure. But when he goes out and he plays, he's the best. Any young person should look up to Roy Keane. He sets high standards, and I've always been told, train how you play. He definitely did train how he played.
What would you say to him if he gave you a bad pass?
Well, there's a story here, but I got to tell the right story because he's in the building and he told me off earlier for telling too many stories about him.
He told you to stop telling lies about him. I heard that.
But they're not lies, they're the truth. But you just don't want me to tell too much about him. So I will tell you a little story about him. We were playing Faroe Island away. He gave a pass, and I don't think the pass was good enough into me. And so I kind of said, he kind of had a go at me, and I kind of had a bite back at him, which you do, and said, nah, the pass wasn't good enough. But then I could see the red mist in his face, and I was thinking, half-time's approaching there, I could be in trouble here. So I kind of I'm looking at my other teammates thinking, are they seeing what I'm seeing? Because I know he can lose it. So we go into the change room, and my fists are clenched, because I'm thinking, here, he could just say to me, who are you talking to like that, and just throw it one at me. But he didn't. He kind of put his hand up and said, fair play to you, Clinton. It wasn't the best ball. You were right. And we got on with it well together after that. But he was brilliant. He was just a funny little story about him, Tom. He was a leader. He was brilliant. Even when I went to the World Cup in 2002, I was the person who would always go and speak to Roy Keane, wanting to know what it was like to be a top player, because that's where I wanted to be, go and be a top player and be the best. So you speak to players like that all the time. All
right, Joe and Dave, got a quick prediction from both of you to tonight's game?
Go on, both.
Oh, 2-2.
I'm going Arsenal 2, Man United 0.
Okay.
Come on.
Confident.
Joe?
Confident. 2-2 for me.
Oh, 2-2?
Yeah.
Oh, not so confident.
Desmond, not so confident, no.
Yeah. OK, Joe and Dave, brilliant to have you on. Thank you very much. Right, we've been doing the poll. 10,000, over 10,000 of you have voted in this. And look at that. It is Arsenal who have won the poll. 64% of you think that they will finish higher than Manchester United this season. Just the 36% of you saying Manchester United. So thank you to our guest, Clinton Morrison, as well. Great to see you. We cannot wait for this game. They're on air Manchester United versus Arsenal on the Monday Night Football is next on Sky Sports Premier League, and of course, it's on Main Event.